Hey guys, this is Iliya with TWRAPS, and today we'll be doing yet another Cybertruck wrap. But this one is a little bit different. So we're ready to go. This is the wrap we'll be doing. My kids chose red, but we can do any color vinyl that you can think of. It's not really a problem. So when you get the wrap, you get something like this. And let me quickly go over it so you have an idea of what you're looking at. So first things first, notice the letters P and D. They indicate driver side for D and passenger side for P. Here's an interesting piece, that's the tailgate, and notice it has a D and P. This is because this is a trapeze, it's not a rectangle, so you should follow the sides. So we have the tailgate, bumper, hood, roof lines with one spare. We have the quarter panel, the front fender, front doors, and rear doors. So let's start. So for my convenience, I'll just separate these. We perforate it, so you can just separate them easily like this. And I'll start with the hood. So as I said, I'll start with the hood. As you notice, our kit Cybertruck is a little bit scratched already, but thankfully the vinyl wrap will hide most of it. So I'll just peel it off. This is vinyl, by the way, not paint protection film, so this is dry installation. You don't need to make it wet. And I will align it on the top line. This, just press it gently. If you don't like your alignment, you can always peel off and redo it. And now we'll use a squeegee. So once you've positioned it, you can start squeegeeing. Go from the top towards the bottom. Make sure you don't leave any bubbles. Now notice that this is premium vinyl, so it has air release channels, which allows you to move the bubbles out from under the film. Needless to say, you should first clean before doing the wrap, and if it's not a brand new Cybertruck, chances are it will have a bunch of surface imperfections, which will show under the film. You can probably, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but ours is scratched, bubbled, and whatnot, and there is nothing that the vinyl can do about this. Okay, so when you reach the edges, run your finger like this, and then you can just start folding like this. I would, if you're doing this in cold weather, I would recommend using a heat gun or a hair dryer, because this will soften the vinyl and make it much easier to wrap around. Now let's pop this open and finish it on this. And then lastly, I will recheck that no vinyl is sticking out from any edge. Just running my finger, folding it is like this. All right, next up, let's do the bumper. So for the bumper, this one is a little tricky to align. I will start at the bottom passenger side edge, then I'll align on this line here, and then you want to lead it by the bottom line as much as you can, so it does not fold around on the bottom. It will fold around on the top though. And now let's get these bubbles and pressure out. If you get to a point like this, which is very likely to happen, just peel off and reapply like this. Right. When that's done, again, using your finger, draw the line at the edge. If you get bubbles like this, which I just got, squeezing them out. And if you get a wrinkle like that, you can open it and redo it. And again, let me remind you, if it's cold weather or the vinyl is not cooperating, you can use a heat gun to warm it up, or a hair dryer, that's the same thing. But if you rub it with your fingers the way I am, that also warms it up, which allows it to hold better. And now here, where I got a little bit of excess, I'll just stick it and wrap the edge like this to get a nice clean look. All right, let's move to the side. So, front fender. This is your alignment point. Then lead this edge. And then lead that edge as closely to the fender flares as possible. And then use the squeegee to make the edges stick. And for where these curves are, again, I'll just do it with my fingers. Otherwise, if you're just doing this with the squeegee, the chances are you'll get bubbles. All right. Let's move on to the front door. So for the front door, I'll align this corner here. And then we'll squeegee this, and you can squeegee from here. So for the corner, again, we'll use our fingers, just like the previous places, to avoid bubbles. And now we'll do this. Now, if you end up with excess here and there, so this is vinyl, it's extremely stretchable. It's not like paint protection film where the shape is pretty constant. If you end up with excess like I did here, I overstretched it, you can just use a utility knife to trim it. Alright, let's do the rear door. Alright, rear door. The rear door alignment is here on top. And I like to go with my fingers all the way to the second edge, and then we can squeegee. Okay, now you can squeegee sideways from the middle to the end.
And my husband?
Yes. So from the middle to the end, from the middle to the other, from the middle to this one, from the middle to the other. Right? Alright. So the quarter panel will again align by the fender flares. This one being bigger is a bit trickier to align. But when you get a couple of alignment points, just press down to make it stick and then just lead the other edges. Did you squeegee this? No. Now for the top edge again with your finger, or use a heat gun or a hair dryer. And same for this over here. Again, if you get any excess, you can just use a utility knife, trim it. And lastly, I will push here at these edges to create the shape of the door. Alright, the last components to this side would be the roof line. We will align here. Notice there are pressure relief cuts, so you kind of want to aim so that they're on top and bottom. And then this part has been tricky even for me, because there are not very good alignment points here. Oh, it seems I positioned it a little bit lower than I should have. Now one way is to just peel off like this and reposition a little higher. And by the way, one way to check if your position is good is to fold a little bit and see if it's covering the top edge. If it is, position is probably good. And again, if you stretched it somewhere like I did, just use a utility knife to trim the excess. All right, let's move on to the tailgate. Now let's do the tailgate. And Didi, you can squeegee the other side just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Again, reminder, driver, passenger side. This is a trapeze, not a rectangle. Our line at the top. And then let's squeegee in the middle and do it one side at a time. Let's make sure that nothing is sticking out. There you go.
Awesome.
Let's do the other side and we're done. Okay, so P for passenger side, D for driver side.
No, P for P, D for D.
Ah.